So on your life cover, there's two things that they can basically do after they've done the underwriting. They can either put on a loading, or they can put on an exclusion, or a combination of both. So what is a loading? A loading is they do the underwriting and they'll come back and say, well, for a person with your background, your age, your occupation, your salary, etc., your smoker status, your health means that you are a little bit of a higher risk than the average person in your situation. Therefore, we have to load your premium because you're a higher risk by 20% or 50% or whatever the case may be. And that's called a loading. So instead of paying 500 Rand, you'll pay 650 Rand because you are a higher risk. The second one is an exclusion. Exclusion is something that they look at as a pre-existing condition, where they say, listen, we are happy to cover you at this rate, but you've already had a heart problem, therefore we are going to exclude your cardiovascular system. So if you pass away from a heart attack, you won't get paid out. Unfortunately, we can't expect insurance companies to cover things that have already occurred. You can just think about it in a car insurance scenario. You go and you have a bumper bashing, your whole front bumper of your car is done, and then you phone the insurance company and say, listen, I want to put my car on insurance now. They're going to look at your car and say, well, we'll cover your car, but we're not going to pay for we're not going to cover the front bumper until you've shown us that that front bumper has been completely repaired. So they can't be expected to cover anything that is a pre-existing condition, which is exactly the same thing with life cover. So let's say you have high cholesterol, which increases your risk then, according to the insurance companies, for heart attacks. They might then either load you or exclude cardiovascular disease. But if you then prove to them after 6 months or so that you have now taken medication, you have brought that condition under control, and you are now within normal parameters, they will then take that loading or that exclusion off and you will be fully covered. Now, it doesn't happen. Some conditions are permanent. You can't remove it. But a lot of times when you have an illness or you have a condition, you can treat it, and then that exclusion or loading can be removed.